And so that would be true of the disciples. Now, keep in mind that they wrote the the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, within a generation. And A.N. Sherwin White, the famous historian, said that the passage of 2 generations of time is not even enough for legend to grow up and wipe out a solid core of historical truth. So this is within the parameters of being reliable, historically speaking. But here's the kicker, and this is what, more than anything else, brought me to faith. We have some information preserved for us that can be dated back so early you cannot write it off as being a legend. Because we know the Apostle Paul was Saul of Tarsus, a persecutor of Christians. 1 to 3 years after the death of Jesus, he's on the road to Damascus. He has this encounter with the risen Jesus. He becomes the Apostle Paul. Immediately, he goes into Damascus, and he meets some apostles. Many people believe this is when he was given a creed, an eyewitness-based creed of the early church that he later sent to the church in Corinth. Other people say it was 3 years later when he went to Jerusalem and he met with 2 eyewitnesses, Peter and James, who were named in this creed as eyewitnesses to the resurrected Jesus. But either way, this means within 1 to 6 years after the death of Jesus, a report about the resurrection was already in existence. The beliefs that make that up go back even earlier. So in other words, we have preserved for us in 1 Corinthians 15, starting at verse 3, a creed, an eyewitness-based creed of the earliest Christians, right there in the first century.